Hello, this is Robert Crockett, and I wish to do an introductory video on destructive editing. This is me right there on Pinnacle Mountain. I've got other videos that deal with this, but I want to go and talk about GVim. I'm a big believer in destructive editing. One of the things about destructive editing is that you never change production. You always want to change a copy of production, and you want that removed into a separate directory. Let me give you an example here. Let me go and give full credit to the I've got a sample database here. Let's see. Good people at MongoDB have this database, and we'll go there, and this is the one I'm working with for the purposes of this video. So full credit and kudos to the MongoDB folks. And this is just a basic data file. It's something we can talk about, but we'll get out of there, and we'll get out of here also. And we've rendered this, and we've presented a few problems with that. You know, the problems itself will be subject of a future video, but this is what we're going to look at today. This is you get a data file in from your boss, and the boss says, well, at least you don't have to type it in, but I want this as part of our database. You're the tech guy, go ahead and deal with it. And so if you've been in IT as long as I have, you've inevitably had scenarios such as this, and he doesn't want to hear that the data may or may not be dirty. He wants to hear that you've got the task done. So let's take a look at this. And this is similar to classrooms where if this was in the live, this would probably be a lot more believable, and also it would seem more relevant. I have to take shortcuts because this has to be a sanitized version. I work with live data that cannot be shared, so I have to approximate that. That's similar to actors and actresses putting on a war film. They have not actually fought in the war themselves or anything, but they have to present, get as close as they can to it. And I'll be the first to admit this is not even close. So there it is. But anyway, this is what we got this is what I downloaded from Mongo. And this is what the boss gave us, and we're going to look at briefly at some of these differences here. We've got some stuff over here. We have a field name here that is got some numbers in it, whereas this is stands for population here. Of course, we don't know this. We're kind of cheating beforehand to kind of give you a destination of where we're going to go, and so we don't know all this, on the front end. That's the thing about destructive editing is oftentimes you're learning what the parameters are that you need to do to perform on that data. And whether you're an IT person and you program computers, talk to the computers like I do, or if you're a data analyst and your job is to keep the programmers honest, it's a good idea to know how to basically flim-flam data. And so destructive editing is one of those techniques I use. It's the idea that you're working with a copy of production and never production itself. So these are some of the differences right here. So we're gonna start, and we're gonna go to this whole folder is a copy of production. So if I trash anything in this folder, it's not going to matter because it's only a copy. And that's the way you should work. I mean, the nightmare scenario is that you have a production version of the file. It's the only copy of the file, and the backups are troublesome if they even exist. I mean, don't be that guy. So anyway, without any further ado, I'm opening up the bad version we were given, and we're going to see some stuff right here. And one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to notice that we have a lot of this is supposed to be a JSON file, and we know that we've got some jumbled up lines here. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to clean this up. But before we do that, let's save off a copy of this, because we always work with a copy. We never work with the original. So we're going to do a save, and then we're going to do Control R, and then %, and that brings up our database name. We're going to give it another name. We're going to call it extract. And this is just kind of for and we're going to say recon, because we're going to do, this is data reconnaissance. If we trash this file, it's really not going to matter. So let's, without any further ado, let's, now with a JSON, it starts with an opening bracket. So what we're going to do is, and I've already looked at, I've already cheated and know that we only have one level of open and close brackets. The thing on these type of operations is that you want to do a reconnaissance on the data, and what you're looking for is patterns. So the first kind of pattern we can work with is the open bracket, the one I have the cursor on. And we're going to put that on a line all by itself. So we're going to do colon, %, which means all lines, substitute, and we're going to do the colon, we're going to do the left bracket, and we're going to just put that on a new line, and we're going to get a copy of the string we just matched. And we're going to apply that. So we're going to do that first. Okay. So we've done that. That's our first step. And what we're going to do is I'm going to do this a little bit slower. I have all this defined on hotkeys, but I'm going to do a little bit slower. So let's see. So I'm going to do, but we always, we're working with this, and we want to go to a higher version of this. So we're going to, we're just going to save this. We're going to be Control R, % sign, and we're going to give it an _A, because we've made progress with this. And the thing is this is what I'm going to call a committed save, because occasionally doing a reconnaissance, you go down a blind alley and you have to back up to a previous file. And you want to make sure you have a breadcrumbs along the way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do I like to so this is what we're doing here is we're doing all lines. We're looking for a begin of line, an end of line, and we're going to delete those. We're going to get rid of the blank lines. That's what we're doing here, because we possibly introduced new lines, and then we're going to do a save. We'll do another save, and this will be B. So we've cleaned up the data. And this is kind of a cleaner part of the data right now. So let's come out here and we'll look at this file. We'll see if we're looking at any bit better here. We'll get out of this and we'll do another one. So we're looking. So we're gonna select that one, and we're gonna select this one. We're gonna do right click. So right click and open with, and we're going to do Visual Studio Code, And we're going to click here, and we're going to right click. This is very good for comparisons. Right click, and we're going to say select for compare. And then we're going to do our latest one, compare with the original. So, okay, so in the later one, this is the newest one on the right side. What we've done is we've broken off this big line. It didn't have the separate lines, so this separates it into different lines. So this is progress we've made thus far. So we'll get out of this and we'll get back into our program, which will be Recon B. And so one of the things we've noticed, and again, you're looking for patterns, we've noticed that we've gotten kind of corrupted up here. We have the variable name being a JSON. This is pop, but you notice that you've got some garbage in here, and this is where we call it reconnaissance, because we're going to actually look at this file and strip it down before we go any further. So so what we're going to do is we're going to test out a regular expression. So let's open parentheses P, and it looks like some various digits. There seems to be at least one of them, and then there's we can do an up arrow. Once we do the slash, let's do the slash and do the up arrow, and we can add to that. And what we're going to do is an O, and then it looks like a minus sign. But I'm not sure whether it's a minus sign all the time, so I'm going to put the star there because there may be 0 occurrences of that. And then we have more digits. So it's a \D, and then there's one to many of those. And then it's followed up by P and a double quote. Okay, so we have that. So what we're going to do is we're going to isolate this, and what we want to do is make sure that that's the only thing we have in this particular string. We're going to check. We're going to do a reconnaissance on our assumption, and this is important. That's why we have backup files. And while we're doing that, I'm going to save the register, the search register, at we're going to save it to register A equals the search register, which is the slash. So we're going to do that without any further ado, and then we're going to make up another backup version. And I have this automated. This will be another topic in a future video. But right now I've incremented this. I've got a date timestamp. Okay, you can see this a little bit better here. So what we're going to do is we're going to isolate these strings here. We're going to verify our assumption. So what we're going to do is for %s, we're going to do a substitution on all lines, and we're going to do that string we just saved in register A, Control R A, and then we're going to give it a new line. We're going to give it a carriage return. And the @ symbol is the regular expression type variable that stands for, well, it's the Vime attribute, Vime, whatever you call it, symbol that stands for the match string, and then we're going to give it another return. And then we're going to say do this globally. So we're going to isolate this on a line by itself. Now we're going to isolate the line itself, and we're going to do another save before we do that. We always save an increment at a time so that if we make a mistake, we can always go back. So we're going to do colon, and we're going to do %, which is all lines, G not, which means for everything that does not match the line. And we're going to take the same Control RA, what is in register A, and then we're going to delete every line but this. So now we've got a nice clean buffer with only the assumption string in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if our assumption is correct. So we're going to have the open bracket. Let's see, we're going to have a digit or a minus sign. And we're just going to wipe those out. We're just going to replace them with nothing and see what we get. Okay? And it looks like we have pomp. However, you know, we can't be hasty. So let's go down to the bottom of the buffer. So that's Shift G. And we're at the bottom. And this is 26,418 lines. That's a kind of a lot of lines to be looking at manually. But what we can do is we're going to see if these are all the same. So we'll do we're going to do percent, which is all lines. We're going to shoot this whole buffer to an external command, and we're going to make that command sort. So we're going to sort the lines, and then we're going to do colon, and we're going to do up arrow because it has a history, and we're going to do all lines, and we're going to shoot it to the unique command so that we can get rid of the duplicates. And sure enough, that string in fact did work. So we're going to we'll just save that just to but we're going to go to another tab E, and we're going to do an EX. So now we're going to come back to the original. Okay, and so we're going back to register A, and so at this point we've already determined that this is the string we want, you know, and we're gonna clean this up. So we're gonna do %s Control RA. We still have that in A, and then we're gonna do POP, because that's what it should be. So all cases where it has all those variable numbers, we're going to change it. And so we're doing that, and we increment the save, and then we'll save to a higher version. We'll backspace over this, and we'll make that into a C. And this is an introductory GVim video on destructive editing. It's a good way to research the data, and you should always work with the aliased data and files just so that you can go backwards. If we had made a mistake, then we could always go back to a previous version, as you see here. And so we can take this, and we can compare it to the original one here. We'll open it with Visual Studio Code. And let's see, we'll select this for comparison. Let's select for compare, and then we'll compare this one right here. And it should come up here in just a moment. Try that again. Select for Let's see. Okay. Okay, that's what we want to look at. Let's see. Well, that's showing too many, but let's get out of this one and let's look at the see if we get better luck with this. So select for compare. Then we'll actually do the compare with this other one here. Okay, so well, that shows this is very useful. However, I think we've accomplished our mission. That was kind of a flub there, but bear with me. But anyway, in the next video, we'll go a little bit further into the destructive editing process. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, thank you. Bye.